fire.
Where did you come from? This isn't about you.
Water.
Yes, now we're talking. Let's get to it. Nothing is soft as water, yet who can withstand the raging flood? We live in a watery world. About 70% of this planet is water. About 70% of your physical body is composed of water. The water element corresponds to and is the governing element for your emotional body. And for probably 70% of the human population, or at least for a lot of people in general, their emotions are 70% of their life experience. I say this because for a lot of people, how they feel emotionally is the basis from which they act. If you feel wonderful, then your actions will be pleasant. If you feel miserable, then your actions will reflect that. When you feel wonderful, you don't mind hugging somebody. But when you feel miserable, you wouldn't mind killing somebody. That's a little bit extreme, but you get the point, huh? It's just a metaphor. How the water element is functioning within you will largely determine the quality of your state of mind. It will determine the quality of your emotions, and in many ways it will determine your level of sensitivity. Sensitivity simply means the ability to sense. Sensitivity is synonymous with awareness. In order to be aware, you have to be sensitive. When you are sensitive enough, you become very powerful, as a presence far larger than yourself begins to express itself through you. If you maintain this level of sensitivity, then you will have access to its power. In the societies today, people are being conditioned to believe that to be sensitive means that you are weak, timid, and prone to abuse. However, that is very far from the truth. In fact, the harder you are, the more susceptible to abuse you will be, because you're just one way. There's no flexibility. You are like a rock, and rocks can be blown to bits. The softer you are, the more immune you are to any kind of abuse. When you are soft, you are flexible, and therefore you can take any form that you need to take at any given time, making yourself resistant to impact by not resisting it. If you knock a hammer into a rock, the rock will crack. But if you knock a hammer into water, the water will go around the hammer and remain unharmed. A boulder, which is a large rock, will crumble its way down the mountain and be gone before it even reaches the bottom. However, water will flow gracefully down the mountain with ease. Yet paradoxically, it will also devour any living thing that stands in its way. Nothing is soft as water, yet who can withstand the raging flood? If you want to move through life effortlessly and untouched, then you must become like water. You must master the water element and how it functions within yourself. Yet many people don't give any importance to water, and they take it for granted. How many people put more liquid toxicity into their bodies than they do good water? How many people spend all of their time dehydrated and living lifestyles that dehydrate them, even when it doesn't have to be that way? This is why they are not sensitive. This is but one simple reason why most people are not aware. Now, I am going to start off with the practical basics. Please bear with me as I educate you on the bare essentials of water and hydration, like how to eat and drink properly. And then I will transition into the magical, the spiritual, and the mystical aspects of this fascinating subject. The kind of water that you drink is of paramount importance. You should never drink water out of the tap, for tap water is extremely toxic in so many ways. Tap water contains chlorine, which in many places in the United States in particular, you can smell the chlorine when you run the water. Tap water also contains heavy metals such as fluoride, and indeed, this kind of fluoride is not healthy for your teeth, nor is it healthy for you in any way, because it is not the naturally occurring fluoride found in nature and in certain plant-based foods. The kind of fluoride found in tap water and most brands of toothpaste is also a primary ingredient found in rat poison. This fluoride debilitates neurological functionality over time by sticking to and penetrating into the brain. It harms the nervous system, harms the endocrine system, and especially the pituitary and pineal gland aspects of the endocrine system. It pollutes the blood, it actually harms the teeth in the long run, and it causes mental and intellectual compliance to systems and constructs established by the unjust rulers of this world. Tap water also contains traces of illegal drugs. It contains pharmaceutical drugs, which has absolutely no place being inside of the human body due to them being foreign substances as far as the human body is concerned. Tap water contains traces of fecal matter and urine, etc. Long story short, avoid impure water, and tap water in particular. And avoid drinking Dasani and Aquafina brands of water because they contain waste byproducts. Those products are specifically made to dispose of waste byproducts through human consumption because in the eyes of these companies and the individuals who run these companies, human beings are disposable. Find for yourself the highest quality water that you can afford and drink that. Natural spring water is great for drinking, but avoid drinking distilled water on a regular basis because distilled water is stripped of its minerals, and therefore it will strip your body of its minerals as it passes through your body, and that is not good for a lot of reasons. Distilled water is only fine to drink when you are detoxing. However, even then, I recommend alkaline water. Alkaline water is any water that is of a pH balance above 7. In fact, your entire body should be alkaline for you to effectively harness the full benefit and power of the water element. When your body is alkaline, you become immune to most diseases and just about all degenerative diseases that are supposedly incurable. Nevertheless, there is no such thing as an incurable disease. If you have one of those super good, wonderful filters that cleans, oxygenates, mineralizes, and alkalizes your tap water for you, then that is excellent. Use that. When storing water, it is best to store it in a copper vessel. Copper emits a certain vibration that dramatically uplifts the frequency of your water. It makes it very good for your body in so many ways. And you will not be thirsty so soon when drinking water that has been stored in a copper vessel for a sufficient amount of time. Water should not just pass through you, but instead needs to be absorbed by your cells. If your body is having issues absorbing the water that you consume, then it means that you are probably deficient in natural sodium, electrolytes, and sometimes even sugar. But natural sugar, of course. Never derive the nutrients that you require from synthetic or unnatural sources. Otherwise, you will only poison yourself. The food that you eat should be food that is made up of 70% water, just like your body. Most fruits, vegetables, and many other naturally occurring foods from nature have a high content of water, 70% or more. Watermelon and ripe, juicy mangoes, for example, are made up of over 80% water. These foods are the foods that you should be eating, for these are the foods that will nourish you maximally while keeping you hydrated at the same time. Most cooked foods will dehydrate you, and you would be wise to avoid consuming dead, slaughtered animal flesh, what people call meat. You do not need to drink while you eat, and you shouldn't. Water should be the first thing you put into your body at the start of your day, or fruit if your body doesn't require water at that time. Throughout the day, though, consume hydrating foods. Give your liquid intake its own time so that your food can properly digest. Something to understand is that your body is not you, and you are not your body. Your body is simply the mechanism through which you are able to experience this dense level of reality. It should be obvious to you that your body is simply an accumulation of the food that you have eaten since the time of your birth. And therefore, what you eat and what you drink becomes your body and will determine the nature in which your body operates and what you are able to do with your body. Your body is capable of miraculous things. Even science is telling you that you're only using a very small percentage of your DNA. And so, what must a person do in order to unlock and activate more of their DNA? Ask yourself this: could it be that certain individuals and/or hidden forces in ruling positions of power in this world deliberately program the masses of the people in the world through governments, religions, educational institutions, and societies to take on ways of thinking, feeling, acting, eating, and living in general that would keep the masses of the people from ever reaching their highest potential as human beings and reclaiming their long-lost power? That is something to think about. What you eat becomes your body, and therefore you must avoid any consumption of inorganic, genetically modified foods and unnatural foods. Otherwise, you can forget about ever activating dormant DNA, which is what you need to do in order to reach powerful and exuberant states of consciousness, and to harness the power of the elements, and to harness various kinds of spiritual powers. Such things really do exist, and depending upon your karma, you are capable of it. Karma is simply your action and the consequences of your action. And so, you would be wise to take responsibility for your actions from this point forward if you haven't already. If your lifestyle consists of consuming genetically modified foods, then think of the implications that might have upon your own DNA. That too is something to think about. The whole existence and the nature of your reality, including what and who comes into your life and what and who does not come into your life, is determined by your own state of being, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. This is a vibrational universe that we live in. Each and every individual has their own vibration. You have your own vibration. And this vibration is based off of your state of being as a whole. How you keep your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your body, and your energy is all a part of your state of being, and that determines your vibration. This vibration is always pulsating out from you as a signal that the existence or the universe is receiving. Based on what the existence receives from you, that is what it will give back in return, in the form of your internal and external circumstances, situations, people, opportunities, etc. And therefore, it is of paramount importance that you stay aware and conscious of how you are within yourself on every level. You have to sharpen your ability to be that conscious and that aware. It is very important, and there are individuals around the world who can help you with this if you are fortunate enough to cross paths with such an individual. I provide a number of methods and techniques through my services that would help you to become that aware. I am speaking about awareness here because in order to harness the power of something, you have to be aware of that thing, and you must be aware of yourself in relation to that thing. For example, if you've understood what I've just said a few moments ago, then it should now be common sense to you that everything around you is responding to you. Even that which is not in close proximity to you is responding to you. The food that you eat and the water that you drink responds to you before you even consume it. And therefore, it is important that you consciously respond to your food and your drink before you even consume it. Even science is now telling you that the molecular and atomic structure of water can be directly influenced by your mind, and experiments have been done which proves this. The way you treat your water and your food is how it will treat you. If water is influenced by your mind, then the foods that you eat, especially if they are made up of 70% water or more, can most definitely be influenced by your mind. And now to get even deeper, if your body is made up of about 70% water, and in some cases even more, then your very body can be influenced by your mind. This is why it is so very important that you conduct your mind and even your emotions with utmost awareness. I am sure that if you had conscious control over your own mind and emotions, then you would keep yourself wonderful all the time. So do that. Anything that you can influence with your mind can also be influenced by your emotions, because water and emotions go hand in hand. Mastery of the water element can even take you beyond your emotions and into the deep unconscious and subconscious realms of your mind that you don't currently have conscious access to. However, the deepest aspects of your mind transcends you as an individual. The deepest aspects of your mind is shared by your environment and by the people around you, by your particular society. And if we go even deeper into the hidden realms of your mind, we will see that those parts of the mind are shared by the whole humanity and all living beings on this planet. Go even deeper into the subconscious realms of your mind, and you will see that these aspects of your mind is shared by your solar system, your galaxy, and even the entire universe. Supreme mastery over the mind will give you access to the multiverse. If you only touch a small fraction of your subconscious mind, making that aspect of your mind conscious to you, then you will become very powerful in the world. Even the people around you will begin to happen to you the way that you want them to happen to you, because you're conscious within the aspect of your mind that is shared by them. If they are not conscious on that level, then by default, they will become subjugated to you, your suggestions, your intentions, and what you are sending out via your state of being. And so, you can see that having such a level of awareness brings upon you an enormous responsibility. If you think and feel negative in such a powerful state, then everyone around you will begin to play that out. If you cause too much trouble, then there are certain individuals, beings, and/or forces who will place limitations upon you, and you will reap the consequences of your action. But generally, it is only the loving, the joyful, and the pleasant individuals who gain access to such states of consciousness and/or awareness, because this has everything to do with the flowering of individual consciousness into something more than itself. So getting back to the basics, Mental activity, such as thoughts, charged by a corresponding emotion, will produce far greater results, especially when your energies are raised beyond a certain pitch, causing your energy to be very intense. For this, you must be sensitive. It is heightened sensitivity and the ability to stay centered within that causes a presence far greater than you to emerge through you and out into the world. You can only have such a presence happening through you when you are absent of your own fixed personality. Having your own fixed personality is what will keep you rigid as an individual, and this personality construct that you've built for yourself is what will always reinforce for you the illusion that you are separate from everything that is beyond the parameters of your physicality. Essentially, the more personality you have, the less presence you have. With no presence, you are powerless. Without presence, you are caught up in your own illusory game of what you think life is. The food that you eat and the water that you drink is very much a part of you before you even consume it. Therefore, treat it the way that you want it to treat you. The people around you are very much a part of you also. And so unless they are violating you, then within your mind, within your emotions, and within your actions or with your actions, treat them the way that you want them to treat you. So if I haven't made it abundantly clear by now, how you treat your food, and the right foods in particular, will determine the way in which the food affects you. The water element is directly related to healing, nourishment, ease, and flow. Water is very effective when used for purposes of healing. When you are skilled enough in the art of mental influence, then you can get into the art of programming water. Let's say, for example, if someone is sick or ill, then you can create an elixir for that person just by influencing or programming water in a certain way. The key here is focus and intention. If a person is suffering from some kind of tear to the skin, like a cut, a scrape, or even a wound, you can create an elixir that, if applied to the person's skin using your hands, you can greatly accelerate the healing process of that individual. And if your energies are intense enough, you will be able to heal almost instantaneously. Utilizing the mind to influence or to program water in a certain way can also help heal mental and emotional disorders. I have a whole system of techniques to this that I cannot speak about here. Nevertheless, I say all of this just to give you an idea of how powerful the water element is, particularly if you know how to harness it. You can influence or program water in such a way whereby you can physically harm or even kill someone should you get them to drink it. And so, with all of my insight about the mystical wonders of life, I am given a responsibility not to allow certain information to fall into the wrong hands. Some of you would argue that I've already said enough. However, there is a lot that I haven't said. You have to be a certain kind of way within yourself to be able to harness the power of the elements. You don't just wake up one day and decide that you will start creating elixirs that will either help or harm people. You must first have a certain kind of mastery over yourself on multiple different levels. You must have an understanding of alchemy and even karma, multi-dimensional geometry, etc. If your life energies are weak, then you will not be doing any of this until you enhance the way in which the life force happens and radiates through you. In order to harness the power of the water element, it also helps to understand the cosmic ruler of water, and that is the moon. The moon holds dominion over water and the mind. On a full moon, or any time that the moon is more than 70% full, your mental activity and your life energies in general will be amplified in accordance pursuant to how your energies are during that time. If, for example, you so happen to be a joyful person while the moon is approaching its full state, then you will become extremely joyful. If your body is feeling energized, then during this time while the moon is over 70% full, your body will be feeling even more energized to the point where you may have difficulty sleeping. Similarly, if you so happen to be in any way possible a miserable person while the moon is approaching its full state, then you will become very miserable. If by some chance you are able to shift your state of being from being miserable to being joyful during this time, then within a matter of several hours, you can become very joyful. If your body is feeling ill or lethargic while the moon is becoming more than 70% full, then your body will begin to feel even more ill or lethargic, unless you have cultivated your mind in such a way whereby you can change the physical state of your body by influencing it. Remember, your body is made up of about 70% water. If you are properly hydrated and fed, then you will be able to influence your body in so many profound ways through the usage of thoughts and emotion in conjunction with mental focus and intention. Some mastery over the earth element will be needed. However, we can cover that at a later time. It is of paramount importance that you maintain your state of being the way that you want it to be, particularly during the full moon and while the moon is more than 70% full in particular. In other words, you need to determine what state of being you prefer to experience. How do you prefer your mind to be? How do you prefer your thoughts to be? How do you prefer your emotions to be? How do you prefer for your physical body to be in terms of its health and vitality? And to get even deeper, what kind of person do you prefer to be? And how do you prefer for your life as a whole to be? You must know these things. And then, if you desire for all of these things to be a naturally occurring and sustainable experience for you in the reality or in life, then center your mind, thought, and emotions around these things during the full moon events. Think of how you would be and how you would act if your life was exactly the way you desire for it to be. And simply be that way, so long as the moon is more than halfway full. If you are properly hydrated and fed, and if your energies are intense enough, or if you are intense enough within yourself, whilst exhibiting the state of being that you prefer to be in, then the moon, while it is over 70% full, will significantly amplify this state for you. And remember that your state of being is what is determining the vibration that you send off into the existence. The vibration that you are sending off into the existence is what will come back to you in equal intensity, so long as you are in vibrational resonance with the returning frequency or vibration once it actually arrives back to you. That is why it is very important that you sustain and maintain the state of being that you prefer to experience, regardless of your circumstances in life. And then your life will become a reflection of that. You must practice this even when the moon is not full or when it's not more than 70% full. You have to practice this. You have to master this. It is very important. All of this is possible due to the moon's influence over your body, due to your body being a predominantly water-based mechanism. This is also possible due to the moon's influence over your mind. Nevertheless, manifestation happens through the body. How many people in the world live poor lives? But then again, how many people in the world fail to drink, eat, think, feel, and physically act in ways that are conducive to a better life? Even when, despite what they may be telling themselves, it really is possible for them to get it together and to thrive as a human being on earth. My name is Arya Magi, and this has been one of my most favorite videos to make. If you've enjoyed it, well, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I am always uploading incredible content. Please hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. And if you would like to be inspired on just about the daily basis, I am always posting inspiring things, wonderful things on Instagram at Phase Into It. Follow me on Instagram and you will be, well, you'll be happy that you did. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I just hope you enjoy your entire life at large. Thank you so much.